Hello, my name is LoG, and welcome to part 2 of this Notey Note Riff power-up. If you enjoy this type of instructional material, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And now, let's get on to the lesson. All right, so let me recap with part 1 so we can figure out where we're coming from. Sounded like this. That C sharp right there is where we're going to start part 2. The chord progression that's happening right here is a little bit different. We are playing that B minor that we talked about previously, the 6th chord of the key that we're in, which is the key of D. But we do also play like a B flat major, an A flat major, and then back to G. So a couple chords that are kind of out of the key to help our ears kind of set up the G chord a little bit. And it just sounds cool to do that stuff. And again, what am I doing with the riff? I'm implying those chord changes or those chords by bringing out the chord tones. And actually the way I'm doing it here is very simple. It's very like straightforward. There's nothing crazy going on. I'm literally pretty much playing 1, 3, 5 of those chords. So you can kind of see what it sounds like. Mechanically, also, this part is pretty straightforward. Once you get it going, it's really just like pick, middle, ring finger, and then a hammer on or a slide. Pick, middle, ring, hammer on or a slide once you get it. So once the part really starts happening, it flows pretty well with the right hand. So let's go over the first little part. It sounds like this. So that's just simply B minors, 2, 1, 5, flat 3, hammer onto the 5 up the octave. And I'm doing that by going downstroke, upstroke, middle finger, ring finger, hammer on, okay? Of course, you don't have to do technically what I'm doing. You can experiment however you want, but that is what's comfortable for me. Now, after that, things get really simple. We now dip down to the D, B, E right there, and that's, again, just pick, middle, ring finger, so that whole thing, excuse me. And we slide back to this D right there. So let me play that one more time. Again. So that whole thing, maybe not the D, and we'll talk about here in a second, but that whole thing is really just B minor, right? Playing B minors 2, that kind of sound. We do sneak in a little bit of the 4, creating that chord of sound, or that type of sound, which is pretty cool. But once we hit this D right here, that D is actually when the next chord has changed, and now we're on B flat major. So that D was the flat 3 of B, but now the chord has changed to B flat, and now it's the normal 3 of B flat major. So let me play that real fast. So you can see right when I hit the D, I immediately dip down and play the 1 and 5 of the B flat to really spell out that chord. And I continue like this. So again, what am I doing there? Spelling out this chord, spelling out that chord with literally 1, 3, 5. Like there's nothing really happening other than some slidey notes. The main chord notes that I'm playing of the chord, just the triads, 1, 5, and 3 in this case with these particular shapes. So let me play that one more time from here. Right? And now I'm going to play 1, 5, 2, 3 of the B flat. And after that, dip down to the A flat. Go up the normal chord, A flat's 1, 5, 3, slide back 1 fret, and at this point we are now back to G, back to the very beginning, in fact. And we continue the same thing. So let me play that one more time a little slower. Just like that. So you can see what's happening mechanically once you get the pattern going. Really, once you hit this, you're doing the same thing every time. It's really pick, middle finger, ring finger, slide, pick, middle finger, ring finger, hammer on, pick, middle finger, ring finger, slide. It's really the same thing. That last note of the group of 4 is either a hammer on or a slide, so it flows pretty well. So let me play that part a little slower. It's just getting comfortable doing this. Again. That part can be a little tricky because I am kind of reaching here. I think I do middle finger right there, then reach back with the pointer to continue. But you can also go maybe pinky right there. That actually feels a lot more comfortable. I don't know. I might be doing that at the faster tempos. I'm not sure. But if I'm not doing it, I should have because it's a lot easier. Yeah, it's way easier than probably how I'm doing it. But anyway, yeah, figure out your fingering, figure out what's comfortable for you in regards to the technical stuff, and that's pretty much it. So let me play this part one more time. Sounds like this. definitely that pinky hammer on is the way to go, I think, for that. So what we're going to do here, we're going to play over 2 tracks like usual. We're going to play this part that I just played right there, 60 to 90 BPM. Then we're going to play part 1 into part 2 at 65 and 95 BPM, or 65 to 95 BPM. That sounds like this. And then we'll stop and then we repeat. So hopefully all this stuff makes sense. Practice the part, get it up to tempo, get it up to a comfortable tempo at least, and then we'll get on to these tracks. All right, that does it for part 2 of this Notey Note Riff Power-Up. If you enjoy this type of instructional material, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below, and I'll see you in part 3.